You know, from the phone that's probably in your pocket right now to the car you drive, our world is just full of these incredibly complex products. But have you ever stopped to think about how they actually get made? Not just one, but millions and millions of times with unbelievable precision? Well, that's the big question we're tackling today, and the answer is a role you might not have even heard of. So, let's dive in.
Seriously, think about it. It is a massive leap to go from some digital blueprint, a bunch of pixels on a screen, to a real, physical thing you can hold. And spoiler alert, it isn't magic. It's the work of a very specific kind of hero in the world of manufacturing, and this is where their story really begins. So let's meet the manufacturing engineer. I love this description, the unsung hero. They are the absolutely crucial link, kind of like the translator, between the creative dream of a designer and the gritty reality of a factory floor. Their entire job is to answer that one fundamental question. Okay, this design is great, but how in the world do we actually build it?
So their whole mission starts long before any assembly line ever hums to life. It all begins with a plan. And we're not just talking about reading a manual here. They're the ones who write the manual for how something is going to be born.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine a design engineer hands you a picture of a super cool finished Lego spaceship. Well, the manufacturing engineer is the person who has to create that step-by-step instruction booklet. They have to make sure you have all the right pieces, that the process makes total sense, so that spaceship can be built perfectly, every single time.
And this breaks down into a really clear core mission. First up, they dive deep into the technical drawings, analyzing every little detail. Then, they create a super detailed manufacturing plan, sometimes called a routing. Next, and this is the really cool part, they program all the complex machinery, the CNC machines and robots, and design any custom tools needed for the job. And finally, they get ready to support the actual people on the production floor who will bring it all to life.
Okay, so the plan is set. Now let's move to the factory floor. This is the manufacturing engineer's true arena. It's where that perfect plan meets reality. And, well, reality can be pretty unpredictable. You know, if you ask any manufacturing engineer, they will all tell you the same thing. There is absolutely no such thing as a typical day. Their job is just a constant stream of problem solving. They have to be ready for anything and everything.
For instance, picture this. A critical $500,000 machine suddenly just goes down. Boom, production grinds to a halt. The clock is ticking and every single second is costing money. So what happens next?
This is where the manufacturing engineer becomes the first responder. They are the frontline technical support, diving right in to diagnose the issue, troubleshoot the equipment, and get that line moving again as fast as humanly possible.
Okay, here's another common battle you'll see. One part of the assembly line just can't keep up. It's creating a massive traffic jam, a bottleneck that's slowing down the entire operation.
And this is what's so crucial about their role. They don't just fix what's broken. They make what's working work better. They'll analyze the whole workflow, find the real source of that inefficiency, and then literally re-engineer the process to boost productivity.
I absolutely love this quote from an engineer on Reddit. It just perfectly captures the spirit of the job. It shows the incredible range of their responsibility. They're on the hook for everything that keeps production running, from the most complex, high-tech machine to the most basic 50-cent light bulb.
So, how do they tackle all these constant challenges? Well, it's not just intuition or a gut feeling. They have a really powerful and systematic toolkit for problem solving and making things better. See, troubleshooting is a real science for them. It's a process. They start by collecting all the information and data they can get their hands on. Then, they dig past the obvious symptoms to find the true root cause. Only then do they develop, test, and roll out a permanent solution, and, this is key, they document the change so the problem stays fixed for good. And this is their arsenal of superpowers. They use these proven methodologies like lean manufacturing, which is all about eliminating waste, or 5S, which is about creating a perfectly organized and efficient workplace. And then there's Six Sigma, which is a super data-driven way to get defects down to almost zero. These aren't just buzzwords. They are the structured, powerful tools they use to make everything safer, faster, and better.
But their impact doesn't just stop at the factory doors. A manufacturing engineer's influence actually spreads across the entire organization. They connect all these different teams and really help drive the business forward.
You can think of them as a central communications hub. They're constantly working with design engineers to make sure a new product can actually be built. They collaborate with the quality teams to set the standards, and with procurement to source all the right materials. They really are the glue that holds that whole product lifecycle together.
Now, you might have also heard the term industrial engineer.
And while they're related, their focus is actually pretty different. So let's break it down. A manufacturing engineer is laser-focused on the how of making a specific product. The machines, the processes, the tools. An industrial engineer, on the other hand, zooms out and looks at the bigger picture, the whole system, optimizing the flow of people, materials, and information to make the entire company more efficient. So, what does it all boil down to? What's the ultimate role of the manufacturing engineer in our world today? And maybe more importantly, what does their future look like?
To put it simply, they are the architects of production. They're the ones who ensure the products we all rely on are not only possible to make, but are made well, made efficiently, and made safely. They are absolutely fundamental to real innovation. And as we look to a future filled with smart factories and advanced robotics, their role becomes even more critical. Because think about it, in a world that's increasingly run by automation, you have to ask the most important question of all: who's going to teach the machines how to build? The answer? The manufacturing engineer.